Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.
Welcome to another impactful episode of our Domain Expert Interview series. Today, we are excited to welcome Ms. Bhavita Bhatia, a dynamic and award-winning learning and development leader. Bhavita currently serves as the APAC and India Learning and Development Lead, working for JLL at Google account, and was recognized as the topmost L&D leader in North India by the World HRD Congress. She served as prestigious jury member at Economic Times HR and L&D Award in 2024. With over 16 years of experience across the service facility management and hospitality sector, she has successfully built and transformed L&D functions from scratch for multiple companies in the past, impacting over thousands of employees across different sectors, and in her current role, she is leading L&D for over 14 countries. Bhavita is a certified Six Sigma Black Belt and Dale Carnegie professional, known for her ability to turn vision into execution, standardize process, and foster a culture of continuous learning and operational excellence. Beyond her corporate role, Bhavita is also global speaker at platforms like CMS Berlin and previously served as visiting faculty and curriculum advisor at Delhi Skills and Entrepreneurship University for India's first BBA in Facilities and Hygiene Management. Welcome to the Expert Interview series, Bhavita, and hope our viewers get to learn from your experiences.
Thanks a lot, Pooja, for having me here.
So, Bhavita, as we know, you had a fascinating journey across sectors, hospitality, facility, management, and corporate services. If you can just walk us through your journey and what drew you into learning and development.
To answer your question, that I started my journey actually from the hotel. I am a hotel management graduate. To begin my career, I worked with front office operations at ITC Moria at the beginning of my career. Then I moved into the Oberoi's. I finished my MBA. I wanted to join into HR operations, and luckily I got an option to work in L&D itself, and I started my career from there itself in L&D function itself. And since then, I have been working into the same functions. It has been almost 16 plus years. A lot of learning has gone into it. A lot of research work, hard work, wherein I have built up the department from scratch for different companies.
Correct.
Post Oberoi's, I have been working with Compass Group, wherein I was heading the L&D function for Compass Group for support services vertical for Pan India at the age of 23 years.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, quite at a young age, a lot of responsibilities. So seen a lot of learning for myself as well, and I had to be very fast paced in my career everywhere. So yeah, so that has been actually my journey with Compass. And post that, completing my journey with Compass, I moved into massive restaurants, worked with Zorawar Kalra for almost 5 years, close to 5 years, off and on. Then I started my own company. I did some consulting work for different companies actually, and based on that work itself, if you see that I have connected with facilities management verticals multiple times. I have worked for different projects. I have developed SOPs to audit processes, do the L&D content for different companies during that consulting period, and of course delivered to different audiences at all times. And then I worked with SIS Group for 4 years for a company called Service Master Clean. Now it's called SMC in the market. And I was AVP L&D. And post that, I'm with JLL for 1.5 years, working for JLL at Google account, wherein I'm managing APAC in India, two regions actually, and developing their L&D function. This role was quite new when I joined on board. So it's like working again from scratch to build up something into the system. Yeah.
That's quite a journey. So I have two questions. So since you've seen that shift, building the team from scratch to where, it is actually functional. So, and of course, you've seen the transition, what it was 10 years back, and that, of course, it has shifted. How different it is? How has the L&D sector changed over the period?
The L&D sector has changed a lot, I would say. Since I would say there has been a lot of needs analysis that has gone into this entire, I would say, vertical, not even
Okay.
sector, because L&D works into different sectors, right?
Correct.
And if I see that the journey in this past 10 years, people have grown more fond of learning because they know that this, the shift that is coming in, right?
Right.
if you just go through the report of World Economic Forum for 2030, Future of Jobs report, you will
Mm-hmm.
see, the skills are so critical these days. It's like, people just want to learn those skills to stay into their roles,
Right.
and to prepare for the future roles as well. So I would say that this shift and plus the past 10 years of journey, if you see, the technology has taken over a lot of aspects, right? I still remember when I was with Compass, we used to still have the LMS years back.
Okay.
We used to call it as knowledge bank.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean a basic version of LMS wherein we used to just upload content and just
Okay.
used to track who all have gone and seen the content. But
Okay.
now the LMSs have evolved so much. The e-learning has come in, the prompt files, the articulate 360 you have to know. I mean
Mm-hmm.
all basic. It's just not basic L&D function. I think now technology is new norm for all of us, whether it is AI, whether it is the LMSs that we are using, just not to track attendance, definitely. It's like more and more learning
Right.
into place and to keep a tab. And it definitely helps us a lot in our day-to-day work, which
Mm-hmm.
wherein, of course, we cannot be leading every session, but some portion of it rely on technology as
Of
well.
course. And of course, with AI coming in, a lot has changed. It's not just profile-based hiring. Now it's skill-based hiring.
Absolutely. It's all skill-based, I would say. Completely skill-based for us.
Right. So, you've been developing L&D programs. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced while designing L&D strategies in such a diverse environment, and how did you overcome them?
So, I have worked into different sectors. The challenges of every sector is a little slightly different, but majorly it remains somewhere, the background remains the same.
Right.
I would, because something that is very much important while building up a strategy is to do a deep needs analysis. That
Mm-hmm.
what is the requirement of the business, of down the line team members, right? It's very easy to say that, we can do this, we can do that, but if we are not able to hit the ground with the right strategy, with the right content, with the right intent to develop, that content. And of course, it really, really matters when we go out and interact with business to have some ideas from their end that what they actually want. The leadership
Right.
involvement has been very, very crucial in the L&D strategy because the L&D strategy itself is leadership driven at the end of
Right.
the day. If we involve business, if we involve the leaders while even preparing that strategy, they are bound to carry, right? So they will also have some interest in make sure that this is getting implemented at the end of the day.
Right.
So some challenges are very common. You will find low learner count if you are doing the generic program. But
Okay.
as per adult learning principles, we always look into this factor that adults do not learn like children, right?
Right.
So they always want something that is a value add for them.
Mm.
They will look for it hardcore that if something is really adding value to their CV or to their day-to-day job, something that is going to put them into a good pace, in terms of promotions to getting a new role.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that which can really, really attract the learners. It is
Mm-hmm.
really important. So it has to be very much fact-based.
Okay.
Without
So,
fact-based strategy, I think it's very hard to move on.
I think I've asked this question to many L&D professionals. I'm going to ask this to you as well. How difficult it is to train adult learners and, of course, kids. So, is it very difficult to train and actually lure them to training?
As I told you, that adult learners learn from experience, right?
Okay.
And children are a molding clay, right?
Right.
It's like whatever you are teaching them at the beginning of their foundational age,
They're going to take
they
it.
carry it forever.
Right.
So it's completely different, I would say. A job of a school teacher and hardcore L&D professional into corporate, they are two different things, completely different things.
Thank you so much. Now, of course, you've been developing and you've been seeing the drawbacks when you are creating your L&D program. There's some setbacks. There's some things that needs to be taken care while developing these L&D programs. So, how do you ensure that the learning program directly align with and support the business goals?
So this is the real question wherein we definitely do our own needs analysis, right?
Right.
We get into depth to understand what operation want, what business want. A need that comes from them is the real need. Maybe a whiteboarding helps us somewhere, brainstorming ideas together with the
Okay.
business to understand that what is their requirement. To talk about that what are their real needs, to identify, get them into a room wherein we can really talk about different ideas, different
Hmm.
thoughts that what worked well in the past year,
Right.
in terms of the L&D strategy, what we should stop doing to support actually the business goals. You need to involve business. As simple as that. You need to involve business leaders, bring them to the same room as you, and talk about what worked well in the past,
Hmm.
what we need to, continue doing, what we should stop doing, what we should do new. So a brainstorming strategy is always better to understand the priorities of the business. wherein what are their actual goals,
Correct.
what are they setting up for next year, and how the L&D can really directly align to the business and support them in the right functioning manner when the leaders are involved and they are ready to push the L&D strategy ahead to the team further, right? And plus, of course, it's just not one way to get aligned to the business, right?
Correct.
Not just whiteboarding with the leaders, but yes, understanding from the one downs of that leadership or the middle managers to understand what is the need at the end
Right.
of the day, because they are the people who are actually handling day-to-day operations. So to understand from their end as well, then what do they need for their team? What are their priorities? Aligning with the business goals alongside the priorities from the managers, and then you again, go back and build up that strategy, seeing and using the fundamentals of human-centered design, where we are talking about these, start, stop, continue exercises, to having whiteboarding exercises to understand what are the actually priorities for the leadership team,
Mhm.
what are the business goals that they're setting for the upcoming year, what has worked well, what we need to change, basically.
Okay. So, do you do any technique that you use for this need analysis for specific departments with which you run, understanding their needs for the training?
I We do use some tools actually,
Okay.
like there are mural boards, Miro boards. So we use those boards. It's like a post-it there. Everybody's writing together at one go. Then we do some, people just write their thoughts, what we should continue doing, what we should stop doing, what we should,
Oh,
add up new for the next financial year.
wow.
Or there are multiple, those kind of exercises that we can really do in the Miro boards to understand in depth the priorities and to even decide the priorities for the business itself.
Wow.
And alongside, these are the concepts that we usually follow in terms of human-centered design, design thinking, I would say. This really helps us to, design a strategy align better with the business goals, and automatically when you're aligned better, the strategy will be followed at the end
Right.
of the day, right? The strategy is just not one way.
Mm-hmm.
We visit people surveys that goes into place, that what people want,
Okay.
yeah, and a detailed need analysis goes to the manager as well, where they will come back to me saying that this is the need for the next year. That's what
Okay.
we're looking at. Apart from business goals, business strategy, we look into skills assessment
Okay.
from our angle. So it's like this entire L&D strategy is just not one way. It's like getting input from 4 5 different channels to build one single strategy and to
Correct.
execute that.
It's like hearing everybody's voice and then placing it together, what works best for everyone.
Yes.
Perfect. So, in your experience, what are the key ingredients to building L&D function from ground up? You've done it so many times. What's the key sauce for this recipe?
I would say that, the sauce for this recipe is again, having strategic needs assessment,
Okay.
to understand what the business want, what are their expectations from the
Mm-hmm.
L&D function. I mean, what challenges are they facing in their day-to-day life, right?
Okay.
While handling the operations, while handling the customer, to understanding that, what is the need for the managers, even to develop any kind of leadership program, we need to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that how well are these managers, working currently in their role? What are they able to do the productivity needs analysis for their
Okay.
team? Whether they are actually able to utilize their time productively in operations, in other tasks. Are they able to delegate their tasks properly?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just talking about the manager program that usually we run. It's like, we understand the need in depth. We just deep dive into data to see what are the trends. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
the L&D. You can actually just soft skills training and move on. No, it's not.
Right.
Not these days, right? So it's majorly the data-driven decision making that the L&D function does with the
Right.
business to understand every need, everything that they require, what future skills does our team need, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to develop themselves and to be future ready. Because L&D is a function which transforms the
Mm.
organization. Right? It just do not just lead like okay, it's no more a side function. I would say it's a central
Right.
function. The L&D, that's why we say L&D partner these days. It's not just a trainer.
Right.
So how well you can be a coach consultant to the business, that
Correct.
matters here.
And of course, you're building the core of the company. So, very important and a primary role in that context. There's a question that came up to my mind. So, you
Yeah.
deal with, cross-functional teams, so many people you have to interact with. What, according to you, are the five most important skills to become a good L&D leader, if I may say?
The first thing is that you should be highly resilient, right?
Okay.
Adapt change very quickly, because these times are like that you need to pivot instantly as soon
Correct.
as you can, whenever you see that there's a need. that is coming up and it
Right.
is not aligning with your strategy, right? But you need to pivot towards business needs first.
Right.
So I would say that, having resilience is one of the key factors of being a L&D professional. Understanding, keep learning, because an L&D professional needs to learn more than,
The learner
I would say
themselves.
yes, correct. And I mean, it's like keep on learning, understand data, get into data driven insight, highly important because, whenever I deliver any kind of program, it's
Mm-hmm.
like I definitely connect that program with the facts and figures because people usually understand facts and figures better. They
Mm.
want to resonate with something, concrete, and
Right.
then to in their own. For an example, since I manage APAC, so there are 14 different countries there. India
Right.
itself is a region. So whenever I am actually delivering any kind of program, so I just deep dive into some of the other facts which we can utilize specifically, related to India or specifically related to the APAC, different countries can resonate with that
Correct.
so that they get engaged, throughout the program. And similarly, we try to add some activities and all, based on the adult learning principles, as I just told you, that it's very
Right.
important to keep learning yourself first, to
Mm.
train others. So if you are open-minded and, willing to learn, I think that's one of the very important factor to be an L&D professional. Alongside, yes, you need to be very proactive in your approach. Understanding different businesses, different thought processes. Be very
Mm-hmm.
open. Be very open to feedback because,
Right.
of course, I think in my journey, the L&D professional gets the most feedbacks because
Right.
after every program, we are collecting feedback from the team members, right? Whether it
Correct.
is a pre-survey to the post-survey to analyze that where we stand, how our program has been impactful or not, to calculate the ROIs that we talk about, the return on investment or the return on the expectations these days, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about how resilient you are, how soon you can pivot, and are you open to feedbacks? Because
Right.
being an L&D professional, you need to hear feedbacks and
Right.
not only hear, adhere to them because they help us improve every time.
Right. I think
Whether
you've
it's
given the three
learning,
powerful moves that are very important to excel in this career.
yes, because
Perfect.
at the end of the day, you are building up the program for the team
Right.
to align with the business goals. So you need to understand, what feedback you're getting from business, what feedback are you getting from the team,
Right.
So both ends, you have to keep it open.
And feedbacks are, of course, a source of
Yes,
improvement and learning.
absolutely.
So
That's
more
the
the
soul.
merrier. Yeah, more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Right. As we see that there is a lot of automation coming in into every role, not just IT, but of course we're seeing automation and AI taking over every sector. So how is L&D adapting to the future skill to future skill this workforce?
So when I see, L&D function is completely changing.
Right.
As I just told you that, we are the forefront of the transformation that is happening,
Right.
right? So we are the ones who are helping the business to adapt to the new skills, to adapt to the future ready workforce. So it's like L&D is a partner in this entire transformation that is coming in, whether it is automation or technological advancements, right? Because this is actually reshaping the roles
Right.
for the future. It depends on how ready are you to, how open-minded are you to adapt to the future skills and upskill your workforce, reskill your workforce, because
Right.
this is the dire need now,
Correct.
upskilling and reskilling of the workforce. So as I just quoted, we have been talking about World Economic Forum, Future of Jobs report
Right.
2030. The skills that you see that are the need, we have to really focus on the human skills, I guess,
Hmm.
because it's something, talking about the problem solving, strategic thinking, critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, adaptability, as I just quoted, and complex communications, dealing with
Right.
them. So, yes, this is something that is the future that is coming up. Right?
Hmm.
And we would want our teams to be future ready anyway. Plus, taking up the blending learning approaches, just not
Okay.
self-paced modules. Because, as I just told you, people learn from
Mm-hmm.
experience and exposure more than the education. So we follow a concept called 3E,
Okay.
talks about 70% of the experience, 20% of the exposure, and 10% of the education actually.
Wow.
So
Okay.
for the 10% of efforts, we are putting in so much effort. So it's highly important the learners have to put the learning to task, right?
Right.
So that they learn better, that learning retention stays with them. And when we see this approach nowadays, people just don't want to spend so much of time on laptop just completing one module.
Right.
So in future of L&D, you will see micro learning modules coming in,
Correct.
Yeah, short 15 minutes learning, 20 minutes learning, bite-sized learning.
Right.
Yeah, so we are adapting to that digital fluency and literacy, which is very very important. Analyzing data,
Hmm.
understanding, what is coming up new in the market, keeping yourself up to date equally is highly important.
Of course. If you're not updated, how can you update the team? So it's as you said earlier, you have to be a learner yourself. Only then you can make others learn.
Absolutely. And of course, teaching your teams the value of AI and how you can really utilize. And moreover, the teams
Hmm.
need to believe in this that AI is not, the enemy. AI is the
Yeah.
help here. You can really, really save so much of time. You can really increase your productivity by
Correct.
multiple X if you use the AI right.
Right. Thank you so much. I think you've concluded the answer with the most appropriate thing. That, you should not take AI as an enemy. It's just there to help you.
Yes. So actually, it depends on the mindset that what you are carrying, and it's time to change. AI
Right.
is going to stay.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so it's very important that you should be able to adapt it,
Correct.
and as quickly you will do it, it will be
Mhm.
better.
Perfect. We move to the end of the interview, and of course, the most important question: what advice would you like to give to aspiring L&D professionals who are looking to make a career and in this field of learning and development?
So first of all, since I just quoted sometime back in this, that this you have to be very much impactful.
Right.
Just think from the angle that you are not a trainer, you're a business partner. So
Okay.
how efficiently you can, talk about strategies that can really prove, because every time an L&D professional comes into the picture, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the ROI of this function? That's
Correct.
a common question you get from business. That what are you returning back?
Right.
How my employees' productivity have you increased, or how much employee retention has happened? Depends on different methods to calculate ROI or return on expectations from the business side. So, it's important that you embrace data and technology, which is very, very, very crucial in
Right.
today's times. Yeah. And cultivate agility, and continuous learning will really help. To be an L&D professional, I would just say that if you're a career aspirant and you want to make your career into L&D, so
Right.
you need to upgrade yourself every day.
Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.